everybody, this is Ginger and this is Ginger's Chat Show. I'm doing okay. Had a good weekend. Um, this past Saturday I went to my high school 50th class reunion. It was fun. I'm glad I went. Um, it was held up at the Tacoma Yacht Club here. The weather was good. Of course, I was thinking about raining, but it was good. It was kind of muggy, but you know, that's Indian summer for you here. Um, because it happens this time of the year. Uh, there was an excellent turnout, and I was really surprised. And I was like, wow, better than it was 10 years ago. Or, let's see, 2005. 2015. But we were going to do a 45th reunion, but that was canceled because of COVID. So we couldn't do it during that time. Uh, During 2019, actually it was 2020 we were going to do it. And of course, COVID canceled it basically, forced us to cancel. Anyway, I'm still mourning for Loki. I miss him. Sorry about that. I miss him very much, very, very much. I'm used to him coming in, telling me it's time for lunch, or he just wants a little attention, wants to be petted, and sometimes he climbs up behind me here and he sleeps in the back on my shoulders. Uh, or telling me when it's time to go to bed. Uh, the old adage of you don't own the cat, they own you is true, very true. Uh, I really had no choice but to put him to sleep. The cancer's gotten so bad it was spreading, and he was trying to push through, but it just got to the point where he was accepting the fact that, hey, this thing got me. So I'm going to give myself some time, uh, maybe 5, 6 months or something like this, or sooner. I'm used to having a pet around. And so, because it gives you a chance to, um, gives you something to do, gives you a purpose, and also it pretty much prevents depression. And so I don't want depression. I hate being depressed. I mean, it happens once in a while, but no, it gets kind of lonely when you come home from an event or appointment and there's nobody greeting you at the door. Because Loki used to greet me all the time when I come home from church and goes, meow, like, how was church? And, or, where you went and everything. He's happy to see me. Then it gets demanding. He wants to be fed. So, anyway, now with all the events that happened the last, since last Thursday, Wednesday, Thursday, I have never heard of this Charlie Kirk. I have never heard of him. And I don't like the Maga and the radical lunatic right, if you will. That's why I call them lunatic right. Um, in other words, they don't have any common sense. They don't seem to put themselves in other people's shoes. They're awfully selfish, like their so-called leader. Um, and with him getting murdered, uh, yes, it's sad. I wish it didn't happen, you know. But the other part of me tells me when he stated and said all these things. I saw clips of what he states and everything. He's a typical racist. Okay. Uh, and when you have people like that don't really want to understand the other person or don't want to accept other people for who they are, and he keeps saying all these things, and I said, sooner or later, there's going to be somebody within their own group that's more radical than he is, will strike out, strike back. And look what happened. I'm surprised that he didn't have any security with him on this, monitoring everything, but they didn't. Um, so, I'm sorry it happened. I'm sorry that his family, that happened to them. I mean, nobody had, nobody deserves to be assassinated. That's what I'm saying. I've seen it too often now, especially what happened to President Kennedy. Uh, we'll never know really the story behind that one as to why and who, why this why this person shot him. Okay, we'll never know the story. Um, and I did not appreciate the FBI at that time being um, so mum about this. What were they afraid of? What were they hiding? And also, why? This is 60 years ago, guys. Okay. Why was the motorcade route changed the last minute? Now, why did that happen? And Lyndon B. Johnson ordered it. So it kind of really makes you wonder. Okay. But fast forward to this year. What's going on? Uh, Words are a powerful thing. And Trump should be taught that. He should learn that. You just don't say anything to incite people. Well, look, he got shot at. Look what happened. But the Magas are so eager to blame the other side and not really think things through and say, hey, it could be one of your own. They're far more radical than you are. They never think that. They wouldn't accept that. And they're being stupid about it. Okay? So, in many ways, we need to stop the violence, number one. Number two, you need common sense gun laws. Look at what other countries do. They have very few what they call mass casualty shootings. They're very few. Oh, maybe one or two, but their laws are pretty strict. Okay. Sure, they believe people in the right to defend themselves, but there's an extent to go for that. Now, look at Japan. They don't allow handguns in Japan, but they do allow rifles. Just not hunting rifles, but plain rifles, like your 22. Um, and they do allow those, but they have to go through strict background checks and strict other, let's see how you put it, rules if getting a rifle and as to why. Okay. Most of the Japanese people do have like rifles, especially out in the farm country, outside of the city of Japan, out in the farming community, because they do have problems with uh, predators. Okay, so they're very, very careful. Predators, I mean, like, unfortunately, it's the fox and the wolf and coyotes and things like that. And of course, the other type of predator is a person that's gone bonkers. Okay, people that don't care about the law and don't care how to treat other people and attack other people. Okay. So we need common sense gun laws here. Well, NRA, I noticed they're not on as much anymore, or not. They're not in the news as much. Let's put it this way. Um, but the NRA used to promote gun safety and follow gun laws, and that's all they did. Well, of course, they gone bonkers. Uh, but you don't hear that anymore with them. They kind of faded away. Of course, they got themselves into trouble too. Um, Now, the other thing that we need to do is push on is educating others about uh, civic government knowledge of how things work and what works and the laws that pertain to this. Need to educate people, okay? Now, obviously, Patel doesn't know jack crap of how anything works in the FBI and what the procedures are, okay? He's not relying on um, the rank and file to help him out. Rank and file right now are doing their jobs, and I bet you 3/4 of them are not going to follow his orders because a good majority of his orders, which comes from Trump, uh, are illegal. And they were told, don't follow an illegal order. Don't follow it. Okay? Follow the law, but don't follow the illegal orders. Same way with the military. They won't follow illegal orders. And it's about time that we need to resist and fight back on that and say, Trump and Patel and Noam and Mondi, hey guys, follow the law. You can't do whatever you want. Sorry, that's ESPN here. Um, you have to follow the law. If you don't follow the law and you break the law, you're going to get yourselves into trouble. So we need to push on and go into, if you search on Google, civics, study of government and how it works. Study the Constitution, reread the Constitution, refresh your memory of what you were taught in school as far as civics go. I do that once in a while. I go in and I do, okay, what does this pertain to this and what pertains to that type of thing. When I went through college, and of course in high school they teach you basic civics. I don't know what the classes are required for the kids to take now. But Washington State, you have to learn Washington State history and you have to learn civics. This is here in the state of Washington. But see, I lost my train of thought. I'm sorry, I'm a little tired. um, but just do your research. And then, of course, when I did college, then I don't learn civics in college because it was a requirement in order to graduate. In community college, it's a requirement to graduate. In regular four-year schools and masters, if you go for your master's or graduate school, you have to learn civics. I learned civics a bunch more than I did in high school and community college when I got my criminal justice degree. So it's a little bit more in depth. Let's put it this way. But it doesn't hurt to know and learn. Um, Now to the Maga and to the Maga media that sit there and spout all these things and everything. Guys, start using common sense. Think before you speak. Sure, you have the First Amendment rights, but a lot of times words carry a lot of weight. So stop inciting the MAGA followers to go after people who are Democrats, liberal, whatever. Stop inciting that and stop inciting violence. You guys sit there and complain about it, yet you don't do anything about it. Now, why? Okay? So, stop inciting. And there's an old saying, Maga. And the old saying is this: be careful what you wish for. You may get it. In other words, karma will bite you. That's what I'm saying. Karma will come back and bite you. Now, a number of Magas and bullies and those that put all these death threats to Midas, you guys knock that off too. It's not going to solve anything. You could have a reasonable, calm discussion about the issues at hand. So stop all this death threat crap. We have the First Amendment rights. Midas Touch has the First Amendment rights. They really exercise it fully. And I agree with them. Okay? I'm glad to see independent media like this. I really do. That put out common sense, put out the truth. So, Magas, if you can't handle the truth or common sense, then maybe you should buy an island somewhere and live there. I don't understand why Trump, Stephen Miller, sit there and want to screw everything up where everything previously has been working just fine. Sure, they fine-tune it and they update it and everything else, which you do normally, regularly anyway. But why mess up a good thing? So anyway, let me check my calendar. Hold on a minute. Let's see. Okay, I will see you on Wednesday, the 17th, at 1 o'clock. And if anything changes or something's come up, I will let you guys know, as always. Let's see, is there anything else? No, I don't think there is right now. But anyway, keep insisting, persisting, and pushing back. And don't let Maga tell you any different. Put out the truth and facts right in front of them. If they don't like it, and just tell them tough. That's the way it is. Sure, don't make them angry. Let them, because what I discovered is if you make them angry enough, it makes them think. They have to think. That's my belief on this. So be sure to insist, persist, and push back. And watch Midas Touch. You know, they have Substack. Watch Substack. They have a Substack thing where a whole bunch of people collectively got together and built this. Check it out. And then that way you get your favorite podcast. Sorry. Have your favorite podcast. I try listening to it and everything. It's, you know, it's very, very good. So it gives you a lot of information, gives you the truth, and push back on the uh, legacy media. Tell them, say, look, guys, if you want to keep your ratings, start telling the truth. Start covering everything. Don't cherry pick. Cover everything. Stop spoon feeding. Give full information, not a teaspoon. Tell them that. Write to the station, write to corporate, write to ABC corporate, NBC corporate, CBS corporate, and say, if you want to keep your ratings, you need to do this, this, and this. That's how you push back. And, because they could get themselves in trouble with the public. Okay, I'll see you on Wednesday. Take care. Stay safe. Mother Nature's not done with us yet, weather-wise. Okay? Um, take care. Stay safe. And if you have to, somebody attacks you, smack them back hard. Because that's the only language they understand. Okay? Take care. Love you all. Bye-bye. See you Wednesday.